Hello, I'm Richard Fieldhouse, Chairman and Founder of the National Association of Sessional GPs. The NASGP began in 1997 when I got together with other locums from around the UK to do something constructive about working as a GP locum. Our GP training had prepared us for life as partners and salaried GPs, but not how to work as locums. And back then, it was arguably simpler to be a locum. With the advent of CCGs, PCNs, NHS appraisal, performers lists, revalidation, booking platforms and many more services, it's actually become a lot more complicated. At the time, we were denied access to the NHS pension scheme and ill prepared for the complexities of managing locum work, and were taken aback by the professional isolation that we were all experiencing. So in an attempt to help reduce the isolation we were facing, we'd all set up local informal locum groups where we lived. These local efforts had united us in a shared passion to create a national solution. So soon as we'd established the NASGP, we quickly helped establish 100 of these informal locum groups around the UK, at the same time as actively lobbying and securing access to the NHS pension scheme for all GP locums. We even developed a popular standardised locum induction pack for practices. But although locum groups were starting to make a difference, they lacked formality and struggled to influence local healthcare systems, offered little robust professional support and didn't provide tangible career options. Which is why we came up with the GP Locum Chambers model. In essence, a GP Locum Chambers is a collective of local GP locums who all cooperate to pool their professional locum resources under one umbrella, sharing access to practices, locum opportunities, clinical experiences and all adopt a shared identity. The Chambers lends itself perfectly to GPs with other portfolio roles. It's like being a member of a physical practice with a strong emphasis on collaboration and work-life balance, with a typical membership being between 3 to 15 GPs. All GP Locum Chambers have a Locum Chamber support team consisting of a Chamber Manager, a Clinical Director and a Chamber Lead. The Chamber Lead is one of the locums, usually nominated by the members, taking on a mostly pastoral role to welcome new members, facilitate professional and social get-togethers and come along to national workshops to support this vital role. And like a conventional practice, your Chambers has a Chamber Manager to make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. To help complete the support team, the NASGP appoints regional clinical directors who are on hand to support the Chamber members and create networks with local stakeholders in their region. Although some locums have managed to negotiate a membership package provided by their local CCG or GP Federation, for everyone else the NASGP has done everything it can to keep the costs as low as possible, with a typical Chamber member paying £35 a month plus £12 for each session booked, up to a maximum of 20 sessions a month, after which there's no further fee. And to recognise the importance and value of Chamber leads, their membership and session fees are all waived. All these costs are fully tax deductible and our members usually incorporate these costs into their usual sessional rates charged to their practices. COVID-19 has more than ever highlighted the importance of Chambers. Professional isolation has become even more apparent for locums, made worse by lockdown. Chamber locums have been largely protected, whilst independent locums took a hit with session cancellations becoming an epidemic of their own. And going forwards, the NHS People Plan is trying to implement a 0-hour salaried locum bank model that does very little to support the needs of GP locums. With GP Locum Chambers being a holistic model, we tend to think of the support provided by the Chambers support team as similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, with 5 levels, each offering increasing layers of support and value. The first of these levels is education and information. The members of your Chamber support team work together to signpost existing educational events, or if there aren't any locally, then they can be provided by the Chambers based on your needs. Locum Deck also has an inbuilt induction pack function, which allows the support team to add important local clinical information such as guidelines, policies and procedures that are easily accessible by all locums in your chamber. The second pillar is all about management support. Having a meaningful and ongoing personalised relationship with practice managers is a fundamental part of maintaining and growing your work as a locum. So even if you haven't worked at a practice for some time, the regular interaction between your locum colleagues, support team and the practice ensures a lasting professional relationship. LocumDeck's unique and sophisticated algorithms enable practice managers to book you directly into your own preset availability on LocumDeck, giving you a distinct advantage over traditional methods, benefiting both you and the practice. We call this Instant Book. This completely frees up the chamber manager to focus on more complex bookings such as long-term work, emergency cover, sickness and maternity cover, so that they have more time to spend on relationships with practices and supporting their GPs. Each locum decides their own hourly or sessional rates, controls what type of work they do and when they work, and have total control in which practices they work in, and can have different rates and pension arrangements for each different practice. As well as the instant book facility, practice managers also love the way LocumDeck handles invoicing for its chamber members. Rather than practice managers not knowing when they are going to receive invoices, or receiving them too infrequently or too frequently, or very late at different times of the month, LocumDeck significantly reduces hassle by doing all chamber member invoices at the same time every month, enabling practice managers to be able to plan their payment run and cash flow in advance, which also reduces the incidence of late payments. And should there be late payments, you have your chamber manager to chase this for you. Locums are paid direct by the practice and not through the chamber. LocumDeck also automatically handles and processes all the NHS pension Form A's and Form B's. It's completely paperless, no need for any printing, scanning, email or posting. Chamber locums maintain their self-employed status or can choose to trade through their own limited company and greatly benefit from a set of shared terms and conditions with robust cancellation policies, all assisted by the chamber support team. LocumDeck includes an integrated accounts package which keeps track of all your payments and pension forms and allows you to add other related expenses. As the levels increase to that of working as a team, so does the sophistication and complexity of the support that a GP Locum Chambers offers and its members value. So much so that locums have been known to move to an area to join a Chambers. Regular scheduled meetups with colleagues is a high point of the Chambers calendar, something that's quite hard to do as an independent locum. Central to having a thriving Locum Chambers is having a sense of buzz, with members looking forward to meeting their colleagues and getting as much as they can from supporting each other. As well as making the work more enjoyable, everyone also benefits from psychological safety, building up trust between its members, making us as GPs more able to share our vulnerabilities and discuss sensitive issues that are so central and important to being a GP. All of which helps our members to get the most out of their regular monthly clinical governance meetings. These tend to be home-based, usually hosted on a rotating basis by those in the chambers who enjoy hosting. Each chamber lead oversees a very informal agenda, and often a chamber manager or clinical director will attend for some of the meeting. Members will discuss interesting cases, share significant events, support colleagues if they choose to discuss a complaint, and sometimes plan how to provide feedback to certain practices. There's no more than 10 clinical governance meetings a year. At the end of the meeting, the chamber lead will share 4 or 5 bullet points on a template, summarising the meeting that allows everyone in attendance to then also record and reflect on their own learning points, which at the end of the year provides up to 30 hours of CPD for their own appraisal toolkits. In order to emphasise a chamber's existence and relevance in its area, it's really good to have an identity that everyone can recognise. We provide everyone with a smart business card and sometimes other branded products, and promote the chambers as widely and wherever possible. In the fourth layer of support, GP Locum Chambers provide a level of governance and assurance that has a fundamental impact both on its members and the wider local healthcare setting. It's something that's very difficult to achieve as an isolated or independent locum, so having a chamber support team that can link in with local systems and processes is invaluable. Your chamber support team will be able to link you in with existing educational opportunities, but if you have needs that aren't being met, then the chambers can host these events themselves. And because you're all part of a very formal group of GPs, it's also possible to undertake clinical surveys and audits, sometimes in collaboration with local practices, all of which can have a benefit locally and also feed into everyone's NHS appraisal. Significant events and complaints are such a powerful way to learn, as well as empowering you to take a systems-based approach to making tangible changes locally. Your Chamber support team will be able to help facilitate these for you, and there is a strong emphasis on encouraging members to share these with colleagues at their regular clinical governance meetings. And if there is an outcome from this process that could have a positive effect locally, your clinical director can help implement this. This can be particularly powerful if members have concerns about a specific practice, enabling you to anonymously provide constructive and proactive feedback direct to practices. This team-based approach to learning is a very handy way to collect evidence for annual appraisal. All this activity helps generate long and lasting professional relationships between everyone concerned, even to the point where patients begin to understand the importance of having a locum chambers in their area. So when it comes to the need for taking part in colleague and patient feedback surveys and getting the support of practices, chamber locums are at a distinct advantage. A vexatious complaint can easily destroy a locum's career, particularly if the GMC requests reports from every practice you've worked at in the last year. But as well as providing support, your chamber's support team can also provide such reports in place of the requirement for a practice to do so, thus avoiding the need for practice to be notified and your work being put at risk. The fifth layer of benefit provided by your chambers is that of supporting a portfolio career. A local locum chambers works full-time to generate a web of professional activity that exposes all of its members to new and established health organisations. As an individual, you'll benefit from your chamber's shared reputation and high standing, as well as receiving the benefit of having a clinical director lobbying these organisations on your behalf. Your chambers will also become the focal point of leadership and clinical roles, enabling these organisations to tap into a highly respected group of locums who have all shown a commitment to the area. This will be particularly noticeable in terms of being offered partnerships or salaried posts, sometimes even with an expectation that new locums new to the area join the chambers first before being considered for local positions, all of which adds to the long-term stabilising effect of the chambers in an area. Unlike some agencies or booking platforms with restrictive practice clauses, our GP Locum Chambers have none. Don't forget, the NASGP is run by GP locums who are passionate about the NHS, getting as much from their GP career as possible and really respect a great work-life balance. So we want chambers to be the best way to work as a locum in your area. You're totally at liberty to leave chambers and go off and become a partner or salaried GP in a practice that you've worked at as a locum, and we'll even help you with that. Or if a chambers just isn't for you, you can leave any time. Just make sure you give plenty of notice and carry on your locum career again without any restriction. You can even carry on using Locum Deck as an independent locum. So if you think being part of an NASGP Locum Chambers is something for you, just go to the NASGP website now and sign in. If you're not already a member, sign up for a free trial and click on the Chambers button. If there isn't already a Chambers in your area, get in touch and we can get one off the ground for you in no time at all. Thanks for listening.